Cummings with us here. Naomi, why the need to start educating children so young about multicultural issues?
Well, it started being the multicultural services in a small regional area where the majority of the people, a very Anglo-Saxon community, and we have a very large sudden influx of migrants and refugees in the town. And that brought a lot of challenges for the community. And I received phone calls from the school requesting, one time during Refugee Week, they were studying a book, and the teacher was alarmed because the children would say, we don't want refugees here, they should leave. You know, they're coming here to steal our oxygen. And so
was the teacher saying this, or the kids were saying this?
No, the children were telling the teacher. The teacher was alarmed. And she called me and she said, what can we do? So I had to say, well, I'm also a migrant. And I'm in touch with all the different community organizations, ethnic communities. So I invited some of the leaders and I said, maybe we can visit the schools and speak to the children, because perhaps they don't put a face to the migrant. You know, sometimes people speak about other people because they cannot see the faces. So we went there and realized the children changed their attitude when we started talking to them. So I had this great idea. I thought maybe I can develop this awareness program, cultural awareness program for the children. So we did that because the Department of Immigration and Citizenship have a diversity and social cohesion program. And so there is a $50,000 grant that they made available for somebody to come up with ideas about encouraging participation and integration in the community, social inclusion. So we delivered this program. I engaged some social workers. And last year, we delivered 4 secondary colleges, and we developed these 10 modules that we deliver, and it was a success. That was really, really good. During Cultural Diversity Week, we have a big celebration, and all the schools got together. And many people came to me and they said, why don't you start earlier? Because everything starts primary school. When we arrived there, it was secondary school. You know, the children like that. They don't want to know. But when they're little, you start early. I believe there is a chance that you diminish the possibility of they developing the attitude in secondary school. So I applied again, and again, I just got the money. And I'm so excited because at the same time, I found a very good way for the children to learn, and with the book, with playing. So we developed this book. That's the one, Let's Play Together. And it's a fantastic book. They bring children together, playing, learning about the rules of games in different parts of the world. So, well, that will be fantastic, because I'm going to include that book into the development of the delivery of this program. Very interactive and fun and games. And, you know, we should all be like a child anyway. We should have fun. And so that's what we're doing.
So describe for me a scene with this book being used. The kids, do the kids do this in the classroom? Do they do it out in the playground? How do they use this book, and what sort of play scenarios does it encourage them to undertake?
Well, the book was just launched, and we have not used it in the schools yet, because the program has not started. The program in the primary school will start in October, and it will go for 1 year.
How do you see it working?
The way I see it working is I have engaged social workers. We have developed already the cultural awareness development at schools modules. And so what we are doing, we are adapting it to the level of the child that is now is primary school. So we are going to visit the schools because the principals are engaged, the principals are all positive and really looking forward to these activities. We will have games, we will have activities, we also have cooking, dancing, singing, we will have dressing up. And we also have the university, La Trobe University, they actually promised to engage the international students. So they will come, say somebody from the Philippines will come and speak to the children about Philippine culture. They have Philippine dressing, we have Philippines games, Filipino games. So the children can relate all these cultural values and attitudes and language. And because one thing I'm really passionate about is about equal opportunity. You know, that we all have the opportunity to participate in this society. And Australia, what is Australia? Australia is a multicultural society. So I'm really, really upfront advocating for people and making sure that nobody can tell you cannot speak. Nobody can tell you that you don't have the right to be here, because we are here. But I'm in Australia, but for some people I don't look like one. But I'm in Australia, my children are Australian, my husband is Australian. Regardless of where you were born, if you have chosen this country to be your country, who said that you cannot speak? Who said that you cannot participate and belong? So I like to make sure that that's actually communicated and the community is clear, especially in an Anglo-Saxon community like Bendigo.
Well, what is your personal journey, your story of being in? How did you end up in Bendigo, and what's been your experience along the way with dealing with issues of you don't belong here?
Well, I have it all the time, actually, and that's the reason why I'm very passionate about it, because I know that some people don't have the ability that I have to push forward. You know, you push me and I push back. You know, I'm not going to be put in a corner. I'm not going to go back in a box because you decide I will belong in a box. So what I discovered when I came to Bendigo 16 years ago, I was the only brown face in town. You know, people will look back to look at me because I thought, oh, I must be good looking, I thought. They're looking at me. I think is they're looking at me because I'm different. You know, I'm a visible migrant. You know, you may be from Germany, you may be from whatever, but you are not visible because you are white, you have, you know, this kind of blonde face. I have a brown face, I have a speak funny, I have a funny accent, and I have a curly top. Hooray! So people think you're a migrant. Now, many people like me, you know, they may be Asian, they may be African, so we are the visible one. So we cop it, you know. People, you know, I advocate a lot for refugees, okay. So one day I attended these REIV meetings, Real Estate Institute of Victoria. A guy said to me, you should be teaching refugees how to dress so they don't look like refugees. I said, I beg your pardon. If I want to wear, just imagine you're displaced from your country. The only thing you have left is the ability to weave. And you love your material, beautiful colors. And you're proud, you want to dress a weaving garment. And then you walk through the street, you feel proud, you know, this is your clothes. You illustrating your culture, your country, where you come from, and you feel happy. Who am I to tell them, you put a white shirt on? Because this is Australia, you wear with a white shirt. Why do we have to be all the same?
No, I mean, do you think we're getting better at this, at accepting multiculturalism as a part of the Australian way, or are we actually getting worse, do you think?
Well, some people are getting better and some people are getting worse. The thing that really amazes me, you find in the most amazing places. Last year, for example, I attended the Lord of Murray Community Leadership Program, and somebody hated me in that meeting because they didn't even want to touch me because they thought they could get a stain. Really funny. And you think there's people that are leaders, people that are educated. How is that possible? And you find in the media, I mean, you hear the news all the time, these attacks in the train, attacks in the metro, or whatever, you know. Where does that come from? It's an ingrained thing. I thought, you know, it's very difficult with the old people because perhaps they are already set in their own ways. I'm not trying to change anybody that is over 80. But for a young person, I mean, you know, they should have a chance. They can get a life. They know we are basically the same. We may look different outside, but intrinsically we are human beings. We think, we reason, we feel, we act, we think, we speak. We do everything. We love, we hate, we enjoy, we suffer, everything. All these human emotions. So what is the difference? The outside. We can get over it. So I'm really, as you can see, I'm very passionate about it. And I will continue to stand up for it. I'll go to the top.